Okay, so my goal in this video is to make it as fast as possible, as short as possible, however you'd like to say that, as informative as possible, and also as entertaining as possible. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm just going ahead and putting the finishing touches on my door for my walk-in. So that's what I'm doing here and now. And after I go ahead and throw these handles on here real quick, I'll go ahead and show you the air conditioner that I just went ahead and grabbed, and the one that I'm using. So use your judgment on exactly which one it is that you would like to go ahead and get. The one I chose is cost efficient, and it should work. So I'll go ahead and put the rest of those screws in a little bit. So basically that's my door, you know, like that, like so. Actually, you know what, I'll go ahead and throw at least 2 more screws on here so I can show how this door works, so I didn't have to do all kinds of extra craziness with a door, because I mean really that's kind of the most time consuming thing is the door, really, with doing a walk-in. All right, this was a wood kiln. Okay, I went ahead and I moved my all my lumber milling stuff to one of my other houses. So, you know, this is my old wood kiln. It did not have this inside like it is. It was just straight insulation all around. So what I did last night is I went ahead and I still got to finish foaming, you know, some of the seams and stuff, but I went ahead and did all this stuff. So that's what that looks like. And I say walk-in, but it's going to be more like a crawl-in. But that makes it more energy efficient because I don't really, you know, I'm just pretty much putting trot lines in there. I don't need, you know, this real tall stuff. I'm not going to be spending a whole lot of time in there. You know, if I need to keep crabs in there for a little while, I can. It should work out good. So, you know, this is what this is, and this is how this works. It's not as nice as a door, but it gets the job done. You know, and that's what I'm after. I mean, she's tight. Need a big old hammer to get her straight. And so, I mean, this was the old thing I was using right there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the air conditioner. This is what I got. There is the number right there, and this came in this morning. I'm waiting on the actual CoolBot to get here with the regular mail. That should be here pretty soon. I'm getting ready to go ahead and actually install the air conditioner. And with seafood and stuff, you don't want air blowing directly on your stuff. All my stuff should be kind of up this way. I actually have a little bit more room than I need. So I'm going to go ahead and put the air conditioner as close to the stud this way as possible, which should be somewhere around here. You know, so it's not blowing directly on my clams and my lines, and if I do happen to put crabs in there, which I highly doubt, you know, the crabs. So you don't want air, direct forced air blowing on your seafood. It'll dry it out. So we'll go ahead and install this air conditioner. So I'll go ahead and talk about the dimensions of the walk-in that I have here. This walk-in here is, on the inside dimensions, are roughly 4 foot high by 4 foot wide by 9.5 foot long. And that was for lumber, because when I cut my lumber, I'd go ahead and make everything to roughly 9 foot. So that's why it's that size. I'd recommend doing everything to 8 foot long, as opposed to, this is a little bit longer, just because it'll be easier, like with plywood and stuff. Like I had to do all this extra stuff out here, you know, on this end. On the inside, because, you know, it took a lot more time than just slapping the plywood in there on the edges and stuff on the inside. So I'd recommend doing that. And as far as the panels are concerned, like, anybody who's read prints knows that you have to read between the lines. You know, the engineers, they're all different, and there's material issues and all this other stuff. All this is completely, even the stuff that I did last night, is all lumber that I paid 10 cents on the dollar for. It's all seconds or thirds, whatever. I didn't pay nothing for it. So when this is all said and done, even the old work I did on it, I'm going to have under $1,000 into my walk-in my whole deal. You know, not, of course, not including my labor. That's not bad. I mean, these things are running, you know, I don't even, like 5K or more new. So if you can get away for 20% of what a new one would cost, I mean, you know, it's definitely worth a shot. I'll go ahead and explain the construction of this a little tiny bit more here, because, you know, I know a lot of people don't have the experience with construction and stuff that I do, and a lot of stuff might go over their head. So, okay, basically what I have going on here, I just built 5 panels. Built them on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, you know, when you, of course, the first ones I built, they didn't have this outside sheathing, or the wall, I guess, the inside wall. It was just like straight insulation. And what I got in here is leftover from another job I had. It's just R13. You should be using R25 rigid, like foam insulation. I mean, that stuff costs a fortune. You know, do what you want. You know, like, but this is what I'm doing. So, you know, I wish that I'd have went ahead and did all this inside sheathing at first. You know, it would have been a lot easier than having to crawl in there and freaking go ahead and tack all these walls on. But, you know, it is what it is. And the doors, of course, very important. You know, it's heavy duty as can be. It's heavy freaking door. But it's the same concept. And, you know, I got all kinds of crazy stuff. I got decking I used for this, and I got like a whole freaking pallet of lumber, like super duper cheap. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around so that this high edge is facing in this direction. All right, so I went ahead and flipped this, and not all 3 holes lined up, but the 2 outside ones did. So that's good enough for me. So for whatever air conditioner you're using for your walk-in, you want to go ahead and take the filter out of the air conditioner that you're going to be using for this application and leave it out. Besides the hole that I have to make for this thing, what I did is I went ahead and I put this large framing square on top of the air conditioner, pushed it up against, and then on each side, okay, I went a little bit more than a 1/4 inch so I have a little bit of room to play with. I went ahead and marked it. Shouldn't mark your measuring tools, but whatever. All right, and then I did the same thing down here. You know, I just went a little bit further than a 1/4 inch and went ahead and marked it. And then what I'm going to do here is go ahead and grab this. Go ahead and grab this. Go ahead and go into here. And I have my studs marked. There's a stud there. So I want it right about there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my level on top, my little torpedo level. Get her straight. I don't have a lot of light in here. Should have probably put some light in here to film, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Gonna line these up. Like so. Put a little more pressure on my square this time. Alright, now I just have to cut that out. Alright, I've got an array of tools here. What I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing out with is, first I'm going to go ahead and get it started with the multi-tool, and then go ahead and finish it up with the jigsaw. So, and it's a little bit, the complications are a little bit compounded because I gotta do not just the inside but the outside. You know, they both have to be the same. I went ahead and I've got this side done. So now the hard part, how the heck do I carry this exact square onto the outside sheathing? Okay, so the way that I did, there's lots of different ways to do this, but the way that I did it is I went ahead and all I really need is two cuts, one going that way, one going that way, to be correct. And the way I got that, and the way I carried that over, is have the square there like so, and then pop that on there like so. And I went ahead and put that bubble in the middle there. And then this all carries to this one point right there. So I just mark right there, and then went ahead and just cut it there and there. Okay, and then all I have to do is just recreate what I did in here on the outside. So I've got my baseline right there, and I've got my previous marks still on here. So all I gotta do, line that up like so. Make sure it's level. Of course, it's a square, so if that's level, then that's plumb. Double check it. Put a good bit of pressure on it so I don't lose it. Press lightly. Start here. Put that line there. Flip her around. Line these two bad boys up. Just like so. Finish it out. And now from out here I can go ahead and cut that square, and they should both be the same. Alright, now I'm on the outside and I have my outside hole done, and she's pretty gosh darn perfect. But I actually want a little bit of back tilt, you know, so I'm gonna go ahead and take probably a little bit better than a 1/4 inch off this side, just so that the dripping will come this way. The air conditioner drips will come this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit off the bottom. And of course the inside and the outside, what I'm gonna do is, you know, once I get the AC in there, I'm gonna coat both sides with spray foam. And what I'm getting ready to do here, after I go ahead and take my 1/4 inch off here, is I'm gonna go ahead and put 2x4s, you know, there, and there. So go ahead and trim it out. All right, and the smart thing to do here, you know, if you're not all coming to this, you know, all just winging it as you're going along because you already have the pre-existing thing here, the smart thing to do here would be to go ahead and know exactly what size you want your hole to be, and go ahead and cut it in one piece of plywood, and just put that piece of plywood right on top of the other piece of plywood, trace it out and cut it out, and then build all this stuff. And, you know, that way, you know, you don't cut, because that's not easy. You know, that's, people think doing like demo or you know, when you go in and rehab a house, like a really messed up house, it's freaking hard stuff because you got to do all this figuring. So, you know, the easy way would be just to do it the way I just said if you're building this from scratch, from the ground up. All right, and got my 2x4 in there. That's how I'm holding it in place. And I'll have the bottom part or the foundation of the inside trim. And the rest will be pretty easy. I'll probably do the top similar to that, but go ahead and tack that in there and do the sides and the top just like that. Another cool thing about this is this summer when I'm baiting up with the semi-automatic Trotline baiting system and zipper bait bags, patent pending, I'll be able to go ahead and put a fan right there, and it'll blow that, I'll open that door up and it'll blow all that nice cool air right on me when I'm sitting there baiting up with the system. All right, now I got all the trim done, and once I go ahead and get the air conditioner in there, I'm gonna try to sneak this top piece down a little bit. It's going to be kind of difficult. And there she is, and of course the back there, the whole AC has just a slight amount of fall, as you can see here. probably about 1/8 of an inch of fall. So, yep, she's right. Now all I gotta do is wait for the mail person to get here so I can go ahead and show you how to actually connect the CoolBot to this. As far as power is concerned, I'm just going to drill a hole with a hole saw, run my cord in, and I've got a multi-plug I'm just going to put over here. And you want to make sure that, you know, even though it should drip out this way, that any of your electrical stuff is not underneath the air conditioner whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and keep all that stuff, you know, like right here if I'm inside, right around here. So here's my electrical coming in to the unit there. Just did a hole saw and put a piece of plywood over, and I'm just going to go ahead and put a bead of spray foam around right there. You know, I'm not too worried about what it looks like. I'm not building a piano. Okay, and then here's the inside here. Same deal. It's got a piece of wood on there, and that goes to that. And yeah, she's all plugged up. Just waiting on the actual CoolBot to go ahead and get here. I actually got to go around and finish spray foaming the rest of the air conditioner around that and everything else too. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and the mail should be here any second now. Folks, so now it has arrived. I'm gonna go ahead and show how to install it. All right, I've got all this figured out, and I have educated myself on how to do this. I'm gonna go ahead and hop in here and show you exactly how to go ahead and install this puppy. So I've got all this all foamed up as far as all of my spray foam is concerned, and it's looking quite nicely. Okay, I've got my plugs and all that fun stuff over there. Now this air conditioner, it actually has screws that hold this on here. So go ahead and look out for that, and make sure you see this here. Okay, now, see, it's a little weird as far as, see, this it's kind of funny. With this air conditioner, I'm gonna go ahead and hang it there just like so. Okay, this is the thermostat on the actual air conditioner. All of them are pretty much like this. So the first step here is pull this out. Okay, so basically what this does is this actually heats up your thermostat to keep your air conditioner running. So just take this, put it against there like so. And to kind of keep those together, I'm going to pop a zip tie on the bottom. Alright, and then this is going to come out the side. Next step, between the bottom of these rails and the second to last of these rails, do a little hole in the middle. Not a hole, but just lightly spread the fins. You gotta be careful pushing this in there that you don't tear it up. Just want it barely to go in there. And slowly push it back together. Without messing up the thermostat. real gentle like. Alright, now I've got all these wires, okay, running out of this thing. And now what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and put this cover on here. Make sure the AC's thermostat and the heating element are outside of this. Alright. I accidentally pressed the power button. Not ready for that yet. Alright. Make sure this is pulled out because that's to make sure the AC can vent. Okay, so the room thermostat is just kind of hangs here in the room. The fins thing is the one that goes in between the fins. The heater is this that goes on the air conditioner's thermostat, and the power right here goes there. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the power in. That fires up like so. Okay, so that's reading the actual in here's temperature. So what I'm going to do here is turn the power on, take off energy saver, so it's on cool. Make sure the fan is top speed. And then I'm going to press this check mark because I want it to be around 37 degrees. And then it's already at 37. So you press right and left to change it. Let's do it at 36. And then press the check mark again. Alright, so for the 30 seconds, 1 minute it took me to go ahead and make these wires look kind of pretty. This has already dropped down to 59, and I have the refrigerator door open. Alright, got the door shut. It is 6:28 p.m. right now. I will come back at around 7:30 p.m. and we'll check on the temperature. Alright, so it's been an hour and the outside temperature is around 70 degrees. I mean, I'll be surprised if it's in the 30s inside this thing. You know, I'll be surprised. So here's the moment of truth. Let's go ahead and see how she's working here. It's got a nice seal. I could hear it. I could really hear it. All right, so she's at 50 degrees out here so far. It's been an hour. 46 back here. So let's go ahead and see. I opened it and the temperature's going up. So let's go ahead and give it another hour and see where she's at there. All right, so it's been about 2 hours now that this thing's been cooling. It generally will take between 2 and 24 hours for a refrigerator for the first time to get down below 40 degrees. So let's go ahead and check this out. As long as it's starting to get close to 40, you know, I'll be happy as can be. Anything below 50 is is fine with me, but let's go ahead and check this out here. Oh wow, 41. Huh. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, I'm thrilled with that. 41, and of course it's going up because the door's open, but yeah, that's awesome. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.